Okay, so how do we play Agatha Christie's Death on the Cards? This can best be described as playing werewolf with action cards. It's a logic game where you're trying to figure out which player at the table is the murderer. It's a murder mystery game of just playing cards to try to figure it out. So every player is going to have some deep, dark secrets, right? We've got 3 of these cards. Each player's got 3. One person that's sitting at the table, one of their 3 cards is this: you are the murderer. If you can get that player to reveal 3 secret cards, and of course they're going to wait to do this one last, right? They're not going to say this up front. Then you win the game. But if this person is the last person standing, if everyone else reveals their 3, because if you reveal your 3 secrets, you've got your 3 deep dark secrets, and you're like, oh no, I'm not the murderer, but I'm kind of not nice, and I'm also not, and I'm also not. Once you revealed all 3, you're done. You're out of the game. You can't help anymore because you've had so many social faux pas. You have what's called social disgrace, and you're shunned, and no one will listen to you anymore. So you don't want to reveal your cards, but then again, neither does the murderer. So how do you do this game? What you do it with event cards. Okay, so there's a bunch of event cards that are in the deck, and event cards look like this, right? But the problem is, if you take too long playing event cards and that deck gets down to the very bottom, then this card is revealed, and game took so long, the murderer just gets to run away scot-free. So you have a limited time of clock of actions that you can play to get that murderer to flip up all 3 cards. Okay, so what do we got? We've got some of these event cards that let you do stuff like make people play cards, point your suspicions at someone, and then they have to turn face up one of their 3 cards, and then you're like, oh, kind of a thing, right? Let you grab some cards from the discard pile and stuff like that. Maybe you can trade some cards at the table. You can pass around some cards, and if you're nice, you're not a murderer, you can say, hey, trust me, I'm not a murderer. Give me this card to help me. I can help do this thing, but maybe you're not, or maybe you are. So then there's a lot of pointing fingers and question, and maybe they're going to throw you a devious card at you that makes you immediately have to show one of these secret cards. And then to help suss stuff out, we have some detectives that can help you out, and that's the real meat of the game is characters from the Agatha Christie universe, like Perot. Here, if you have enough of these cards and you play them to the table instead of an action, and then they let you reveal some secrets on the table. But you have to have a certain number of cards of that detective. And there's a little symbol. So you need 3 of these to play at a single time. You can't just play one. You have to play all 3. Or, so long as you have at least one, you can also finish the set with these wild Harley Quinn cards. So if I had 1 of these and 2 Harley Quinns, then this is a legal set play. Can't play wilds by themselves, but so I could play these 2 plus 1. Boom, I play this to the table, I read what it says, and it makes someone flip up a secret. What's neat is there's a couple sometimes extras of here. Maybe you manage to draw another one of these cards and it matches the set. This is on the table. This is your detective you've hired. If you get this card, which maybe you want to do in a trade, right? Then when you play this extra card on the set, you get to trigger it another time and make it do its thing again. Um, there's an interesting set of detectives where we've got Tommy. Tommy has a couple in the deck. You can play just Tommies together, but Tuppence as well, they have the same symbol. So if you actually get to play the 2 of them together, they can do a really special power. I'll come back to that in a second. And then there's Miss Marple. There's only 3 of her cards. You got to play all 3, or maybe with 2 in a wild kind of a thing. And then there's Miss Oliver here. Oliver, you don't play to yourself. You just take one of her cards and you add it to someone else's played detective set. And then that's like a reverse kind of thing, and it makes them flip over one of their cards. She's kind of like, oh, no, I think it's really you. You were pretending to be one of us. You're really the murderer. And then you reveal and you have a good laugh at it, kind of a thing. I do recommend using outrageous, horrible accents when you play. It adds to the ambiance. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You're going to be playing event cards, playing detective sets, trying to make people flip over these secret cards. And when somebody flips over their 3rd card, you're hoping you found this murderer. If not, you keep going and hopefully you stick it out. Now, I said there was something special about when you play these 2 cards together. Everyone's going to start the game with this not so fast. And there's a few more mixed into the deck. If something happens at the table, whether it's against you or someone that you trust, You can just play this out of turn and just say, nope, not going to do it. Can't happen. But these two people really work well together. And if you happen to play these two detectives, then they can't be blocked by one of these. That's one of those unique specials. There's a few other cards that have little word text. Everything you need to play is printed right on the cards. And you do have this player aid to remind you you're going to either play one of these event cards, these white cards, or you're going to play a set of a detective. So you need enough of that matching suit to trigger that detective. Or you can play one of these wilds, or like say, for example, we had Lady Eileen, only needed 2, and I used a wild with Lady Eileen, and then I can, as an action, play another Lady Eileen, and then I get to do a Lady Eileen a second time on a future turn. That's that bottom action there. And just keep playing until somebody either finds out, where'd that card go, finds that murderer and everyone hurrahs, or only the murderer is left and says, gotcha, or you just run out of time and there's no more cards in the draw pile, and the murderer just gets to run away scot-free. Now, in a larger game, you also have someone's secret is the accomplice, that would be their third reveal, and they're trying to help the murderer win. Even if they get sussed out and reveal their third card, so long as the murderer wins, the two of them win together. And so they're helping that person do it. So you're constantly like doubting the question, why did you play that card? Why did you play it against them? Are you in cahoots? What do you know? It's a real hoot. I hope you have a chance to play it with some friends. I got a chance to play it with 4 of my friends, 5-player game. We had a blast trying to suss out and figure out the murderer. So if you like games like Werewolf or Mafia, I think you're going to love this because it just adds an extra layer of fun and thinky having these action event cards.